right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the City Plan Commission. Call the roll. Mayor Sorensen here. Alderperson Mitchell. Here. Ryan Sazma. Excused. Jerry Jones. Here. Marilyn Montemayor. Here. Dave Hoffman. And here. John is excused. For those, if you're able to stand, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First order of business is to approve the minutes from April 12th. All right. Multiple motions. Second. Multiple seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Chair votes aye. Minutes are approved. We got application for a conditional use permit by Cautious Construction to construct a new fuel station canopy with signage at the previously approved new convenience store and service station at the southeast corner of North 26th Street and Superior Avenue. Steve, take it away.
All right, sounds good. Lucas Kalin is here from Cautious Construction, and Barsuva Adakari, who's the owner of the projects, and there is a neighbor here as well for this one. So in November of 21, we had reviewed the gas station site, and at that point in time, the Plan Commission approved it because the applicant kind of flipped it from facing Superior Avenue to facing North 26th Street. So at that time, they didn't have the canopy that they were proposing along with the gas station and the building. And so the Plan Commission included a condition to bring back the canopy when that was ready. So that's what's here today. You can take a look at the site plan. The building was approved by Plan Commission as well as architectural review. And so what we're taking a look at is a canopy. It's about 1,900 square feet, 24 by 80, which is the same footprint that they had showed us previously. They are going with the BP fueling canopy, and so it's meeting the BP architectural guidelines. One of the conditions that the Plan Commission had was that the canopy columns be wrapped in masonry, so they're proposing to have those wrapped in masonry. And this also will go to the architectural review board, who will kind of work with the applicant to discuss how high that should be wrapped and things like that, but they are wrapping in a similar material as the base of the building. There are a couple of signs you can see on the photo that you have before you. Those are BP refers to those as Helios, and there will be two of those. They're each about 7 square feet, so there are what's proposed for the canopy. And then the Plan Commission may remember that the hours of the facility were limited to certain times, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Thursday, and then 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. The property is made up of 2 parcels, so the applicant would just still need to get those combined. And the development certainly is going to change the appearance of the property, and based on the building and site design, it has an ability to fit in well with the neighborhood. So it's just imperative that the property is well maintained in this area, and staff was recommending approval subject to the conditions you have. And the applicant's here, and there is a neighbor here as well.
Questions, comments, concerns from commission members? Any additional commentary? Anyone from the public?
Well, I've been talking to them and
Can you go to the podium, please?
I can project really good.
Then just, could you give your name?
My name is Bobby Schultz. We actually sold the property to them. And we also own the adjoining property, which is where Forefront Dermatology is located. And I just wanted to come, I received a letter in the mail about this meeting, so I wanted to come to the meeting to find out what was going on. Because at the closing, we had discussed that there would be a barrier where their property is next to the Forefront Dermatology property, because surgeries are performed there and they can't have the loud noise, so that's why I'm here.
If you can give me 1 second, Mayor, I can see if I can, okay. I know that the, so basically what they will have is the back wall of the facility. And in addition to that, I believe there was a landscape plan that also had a decent, I think there's probably about a 10-foot buffer with landscaping. I can't remember the exact, that was on board docs. I think that was February. I don't know, Lucas, if there's anything that you can recall to add. November
If
of
it's in board
21.
docs, it would be November,
November of
last meeting in
21.
November.
We're just looking to see if we can't get that site plan real quick to show everyone what we're talking about.
Chad, use the search function.
Well, I don't have any luck with it. You're giving me a hard time.
Yeah,
He's under pressure.
He's like,
I know. Don't look at him.
hold tight.
Doing perfect.
No meetings that day. What was it, November what?
November,
It was a Tuesday.
it was
It's the second Tuesday.
Okay, so.
Could be at the 9th, the 16th, or 23rd, or the 30th.
Well, they're all ported in here. Vortex isn't available anymore. City Planning Commission. Hold tight. So all of we went to a new system and everything is dumped into one, so just a minute here.
I guess I should have been here in November.
yes. When you sold the property.
Oh, no, it's been a year since we sold the
Yeah,
property.
yeah.
It's been a while. And then COVID in full force and everything else, it's just been crazy.
Next month's go here.
In fact, I was trimming trees today, so I apologize for my appearance.
Oh, you're fine.
All right, there we go, Scott.
You wanna see this?
Yeah, that one. So basically what you have, thanks Chad, good job. What you have is a site plan that we're looking at here, and you can see that the clinic is over in this area right here. So you will have the back of the building as well as a certain amount of landscaping that's proposed along that, along that common property line there. So this is Superior up here, 25th would be over here. So this is the clinic right in this area. So this, when you face to the west from that property, is what you will be looking at from behind that building.
Okay, so there's going to be landscaping, but no physical, like a,
There will not be a fence, anything like that to separate it, just the building wall.
the building wall and then landscaping
Right.
behind. And if you head north on what you were showing me, the building ends, and then there's, I saw some bushes or something still north, right, where you're at. What's that area? Is that still part of the building?
Yeah, I'll let, either the applicant speak to that. I believe it was going to be a patio.
Where people can just go and have lunch or something? Okay. All right, sounds good, and I'm been talking to the builder, and then we'll talk to the owner when it's over with. I just want everybody to be happy.
I do too. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all, and it
Isn't
was
that like a
something,
very
even when we do
yeah.
work there, we have to work around Forefront Dermatology's schedule of their surgeries because they can't have loud noises or anything. And of course, if you were the one on the table, you wouldn't want that either.
Yeah, gas station is definitely a different use compared to the green
Well,
grass.
it is, and it's gonna be nice to have, I don't know how long those lots have been there, but it will be nice to have them put to use and to give you something. That's all I have,
Thank you.
okay?
Comments, questions, motions from commission members?
I make a motion to approve subject to the recommendations of
Good job,
staff.
we can get it.
Second.
Motion second, final thoughts? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Chair votes aye, that's approved. Thank you. All right, next application for conditional use with exceptions by Quashis, again, to construct a new multi-tenant convenience store and service station at the northwest corner of North 15th Street and Geely Avenue, 2206 North 15th Street. Steve?
All right, thanks, Mayor. Again, we have Lucas Kalin from Quashis and Barasudova out of Cary looking to develop this new multi-tenant service station at the northwest corner of 15th and Geely Avenue. Applicant's proposing construction of an approximately 6,000 square foot multi-tenant facility and fueling station and canopy that will face south towards Geely Avenue on this 0.61 acre parcel located at the northwest corner of 15th and Geely. The site is currently made up of several vacant undeveloped lots and an abandoned Select Auto Shop located on the south side of the property. And the existing building and all the existing site concrete would be removed prior to construction. It appears that the applicant's proposing 3 tenants, a J-Mart convenience store with BP gas station canopy. The applicants can speak to the J-Mart name and what they're intending on with that. A small restaurant, and another one of the tenants is listed as UPS, so we'll be able to ask the applicant if that is going to be the tenant or if it's just used to indicate another tenant space. The convenience store is proposed to be open 24 hours a day, and proposed method of operation will be consistent with that of the other service stations in the area at 905 Indiana, the Shell station at 1710 Indiana, and Tidy Store at 810 North 14th. Types of products sold are typical convenience store, gasoline, groceries, hot and cold food, beverages, tobacco products, things of that nature. The second, when you take a look at the elevations, you can see there's a second floor, and that second floor will be used by the owner and employees, approximately 5 employees, for office space to run their multiple locations throughout the county. The owner will run the restaurant, which will sell traditional Indian food. Restaurant will be a small sit and dine that can accommodate up to 12 customers at a time. Dumpster enclosure to be constructed using hardy board material to match that of the building. A 6-foot tall buffer fence is to be installed on the north property line adjacent to the home. They're proposing a solid wood fence to be painted gray to match the hardy board color used on the exterior of the building. Their applicant is proposing outdoor storage on this site. That's to be limited to firewood, LP storage, and ice storage. The firewood display, a small firewood rack, will be displayed on the exterior of the building. This is on the east side of the building. All of these are on the east side of the building. LP and ice storage will also be in that area. They're indicating that there won't be any vending machines or dispensers located on the exterior of the building, and that there will not be an air or vacuum equipment present at the site. Specific kind of site improvements to the project are the building is approximately 6,000 square feet. The canopy is very similar to the one we just approved at North and 26th, Superior and 26th, about 24 by 80, and it will also be a BP fueling canopy with 3 pumps on the south side of the store. The site design does include 19 on-site parking stalls, and access to the site will be through driveways on the northeast corner and southwest corners of the property. Applicant does appear to be showing a monument sign, concept only at this time. The stormwater facilities will be incorporated in the green space on the north side of the site. And again, there would be, there's talk of the outdoor storage on the east side of the building for the firewood, gas, and ice. The dumpster enclosure is to be located at the northeast corner of the store and is proposed to use the hardy board. And again, the dumpster and the outdoor storage is located on the east side of the building, which will be very visible to the people along 15th Street. Couple of staff comments, just applicant is proposing a wood fence to minimize the impact of the new commercial building to the residents to the north at 2220 North 15th Street. Plan Commission should be aware that the applicant has installed similar fencing at other service stations that have not been well maintained. So, yeah, kind of like this is the wood fence at 17th and Indiana that you can see separates the gas station from the apartment facility. And you can see how over time, both the dumpster and the fence have not been well maintained. So one of the things staff is going to be recommending that the Plan Commission consider is that instead of a wood fence, that the fence be vinyl from the standpoint of look, design, and durability so that it doesn't end up in this fashion. In addition, the dumpster enclosure is supposed to be very visible, and that's talked about using hardy board siding, and it would be wood on there. Right now, the applicant is at the Superior and North 26th Street. They're proposing a masonry dumpster, and staff would be recommending that the materials of that dumpster be masonry in this case as well. There's certain masonry that is used on the base of the building, and based on how visible this is to 15th Street and the concerns about durability and maintenance, staff is going to be recommending that that be a masonry dumpster. Applicant states there will be no vacuums and no air on the property, but does show some outdoor storage. Just want to, this is very visible, so applicant just needs to make sure he's maintaining that well. Fueling again, they're talking about the canopy. Well, the posts will include masonry piers. This is going to go to architectural review so they can deal with the height of the masonry there. Access to the site is proposed to come from two new egress drives, and the applicants located those at the far north and far west sides of the property to get them away from the intersection of 15th and Geely, so that made a lot of sense to get that done. No, there's been some conceptual signage, but no formal signage, so they'll have to come back. And the property is made up of several different parcels. We've talked about that. They'll go ahead and do the paperwork to get that all combined into one. Plan Commission may want to have the applicant address some of the following points. The owner is proposing to rename the convenience store into J-Mart. I don't know if that's just this location or if he's looking to have something uniform to refer to all of his properties that way. Will this particular J-Mart be a liquor store, or are they intending to sell beer and wine from the site? Does the owner, maybe the owner could address who the other potential tenants, obviously it sounds like he would be running a restaurant, but if it is UPS or if there's someone else there, we could confirm that there are no vacuums and air at this site. As we've discussed in the past, Plan Commission has approved many projects over the years for Mr. Adhikari. And, we have spent some time building inspection, planning, police. And so we're hoping that in these cases that with these new approvals, that the sites are well maintained, because there is a real opportunity to create a nice new appearance along 15th Street here. And this can be a real asset to the area. So we're hoping that we won't have to spend any time at these facilities. And then there are a couple of variances. One is to request 19 parking spaces. The minimum required is 20, so they're right there. And then an exception from the locational landscape buffer requirements. There's certain areas that we'd prefer to try to move some of the landscaping for screening and things like that. So I can answer any questions, and the applicants are here as well.
Comments, questions, thoughts from folks? I guess I'll tee it up. I got a question. Just, there's a lot of discussion about gas stations in the area, and I guess Chad or Steve, a question that I get calls from folks and questions at neighborhood association meetings is, isn't there an oversaturation of gas stations in the city? Right now, we have an overabundance of them, in my opinion, boarded up. Granted, it's a different owner, but what's kind of the saturation point with having too many gas stations in the area? That's just something that's going through my mind.
It's a valid concern. I guess I would leave it up to the private sector to decide what the oversaturation is. I don't know that we can say no to this development because we believe there's too many gas stations out there. I don't know. You're in the gas station business. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think if you could step.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Well, especially, there's a lot of talk about electric vehicles, and so another question I was gonna ask, do you plan on doing like EV charging stations at some of your properties and integrating that? Because that seems like that's a big push too.
Yeah, thank you. That's a valid question. And from gas stations standpoint, saturation standpoint, it depends on the traffic flow in the neighborhood. So basically that is what it is. And with the new quick trips coming in, new being built, you see some are closing. So it's kind of competition too. And every individual sees opportunity in a different way. So basically, it's market, you go ahead and do it. Some fail, some success. That's how it is. As far as charging stations, yeah, I see down the road, in the next 5-10 years, there is going to be a lot of change. So many locations, a new idea, new places of charging stations, I think they will develop as time passes and the need comes in the way.
Are you planning for that?
I have not thought anything, and just because of the size of the land, I don't think this kind of size will fit that. Maybe basically in the exit of highway or something like that, if anything comes up in future, that definitely could be a potential opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, Mayor, on that is, as we're looking at these projects, whether it's the service stations or other types of uses, I think the design of the site and of the buildings is going to be a real key component to that. Should something happen, that maybe there's another way of utilizing it if it comes down to that for another purpose. So I do think there's some things, at least from an architectural perspective, and things that we can try to do to, make sure it's well done now so the business is successful. But should there be any changes, maybe it can be used for a different purpose down the line.
Jerry, then Dave.
Yeah, thank you. Question for you. On the site we looked at on Superior, we have limited hours. This one you want 24 hours. Is there a reason for, it's not that far away, so why the difference in hours for this location versus the other?
It's the Superior Avenue and Gili Avenue. Gili Avenue is busy till later. That street comes from downtown, so Gili is kind of busy throughout the night. So there could be some potential on that one. As far as Superior is concerned, I don't see it that busy after like 10, 11 o'clock.
I guess just a comment. I realize that people have the impression that there are a lot of gas stations in Sheboygan, but I guess I look back in time, and Marilyn, you can probably back me up on this. I think it's more the C-store part of these properties that is popular for the convenience of having a small market. When I grew up, we had corner markets everywhere in Sheboygan, in addition to bars. But
We still have those. We're just going to different ones, Dave. Yeah.
But anyway, this particular area, I think the last guy in there was Ed Jose, if I'm not mistaken, but that area's been blighted for so long. This will be a great addition, and I think it'll make everything look really nice in that area. I do, recommend that we go with the vinyl type fence and not the wood, because they just don't hold up. And I had one more point. Now I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I motion to approve subject to conditions laid forth.
I'll second that.
Under discussion.
Yep, Jerry.
And
Discussion?
as far as the other parts of the building, like you're asking about the UPS store, I did some research about UPS store. I was planning to have one in Chicago, then finally walked out. In that 4 or 5 months of research, I got some good idea, good knowledge about the UPS store. So actually they have approved that location for the UPS store. So there will be actually a UPS store, and having some experience in this Jay's food that we are doing at 17th and Indiana. We struggled quite a bit in the beginning, but now as time passed and people are knowing it, it's doing good. So I thought, why not, on the north side of the town, continue that part, yeah. And as far as J-Mart is concerned, I think anything I'm doing further in my life, it's going to continue with J-Mart, kind of make that unique,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Further discussion, Jerry?
Yeah, Dave, I just wanted to clarify, we are also looking to include the masonry around the dumpster enclosure?
Yes.
Okay. Is that an issue for you?
No, that's fine.
And I think one other commentary on the gas stations, what we're finding too with Quick Trip being an independent brand, just as an example, these BP are for card holders. If you have a BP card, that's where you're going to go for gas. But more so, today's point, it's the convenience store that people are looking for in that particular neighborhood. The one other question I had for you, with the location of that site there, considering the neighborhood around it, what kind of, measures will you take to prevent things like loud stereos late into the night as a 24/7 station? Or how do you police that on your site versus always calling in law enforcement?
Sure. So, right now, we want to see it as 24-hour store. We want to open and see how the business goes. So normally, when you have a 24-hour store, there are so many things involved to handle, especially these days, employees. After like 11, 12, it's hard to find employees, so we want to try that. And the second thing is we'll have two people working all the time, staff-wise. And it's a nice, new, pretty well-lit place in the neighborhood. I personally don't think that could be an issue for security and those kind of things. Once in a while, we have to, we go through that. So we'll try to do our best, camera system we'll have all across, and staffing, 2 staffs on the gas station side and have like at least 1 or 2 people. Normally, when you have only 1 staff working, there are chances of people trying to create problems.
One final question, is your station going to be pay at pump only, or do you pay inside?
Inside too,
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
thanks.
Dave, did you?
Yeah, I remember what I was going to ask you. I'm interested, you're going to sell firewood there. Do you do that at your other locations?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, where does the firewood come from? Because we all know the problems we've had with the emerald ash borer, and I just planted some trees this past weekend. So where does that come from?
There are some suppliers who do focus on that business, yeah.
And does that sell well?
It does.
It does?
It does,
Okay.
yeah.
I was just curious. Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah, the one thing we've had from a city perspective is 15th Street has been on the radar for some time in terms of redevelopment and development and things like that. So, there is an opportunity here to do something nice that can really hopefully impact other investment in this corridor. So, from that perspective, to have a nice building with different activities and things like that is something that we've been trying to get along 15th Street. So we're hoping that you can help us with that by this project.
Sure.
Final thoughts? Anyone from the peanut gallery? Just gotta ask. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Chair votes no, that's approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next is RO 146-2122 and GO 432122 by Alderpersons Decker, granting Old World Creamery LLC and its successors the privilege of encroaching upon described portions of St. Clair Avenue right-of-way in the city of Sheboygan for the purposes of creating a concrete approach. Steve, take it away.
Sure. Steve Knaus is here from Old World Creamery, and he was just in here last week. We were taking a look at the site plan, and one of the things that we talked about is the relocation of the scale. And as you take a look at this drawing, you can see there's a little triangle at the northeast corner. And so if we could just go to that survey, and so that is the section that you see cross-hatched here that they're looking to use that's in the St. Clair Avenue right-of-way. So in order to do that, Old World Creamery must obtain an encroachment first. So we had discussed this at last meeting. They needed to get the encroachment. This is the process they're starting to obtain that, so staff is recommending approval.
Additional comments?
Something. It wouldn't be.
You don't have to, I think,
It wouldn't be right if I don't get up and say something. So, no, this came up at the 11th hour and we're okay with it. The whole project is moving forward. All my contractors are moving forward. I gotta get staff right on lane with me so we can plug all the issues or recommendations that they got. And like I said, the project's moving.
Cool.
So,
Comments, questions, thoughts from commissioners at all?
Nope.
Motions?
Make a motion to approve subject to recommendation.
Second.
All those, final thoughts? Seeing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Chair votes aye, that is approved, thank you. Next meeting, May 10th.
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 4:30, we're done. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks.
That's
Don't, you wanna?